All right, we'll come back to it, but let's go across live to India's Ministry of External Affairs media briefing.
These meetings.
Yeah, go ahead, Meghna.
So Meghna Dev from DD News. ISRO has backed the prestigious Leif Erikson Lunar Prize. Any comment from the Ministry of External Affairs on this?
Okay. Yeah, I'll come to you a second. Yeah, go ahead, Aisha.
Sir, Ayushi Agarwal from ANI. My question is regarding the recent developments in the Red Sea. We saw the tweet by our Prime Minister speaking with the Israeli Prime Minister. How much this is a concern for India when it comes to trade? And are we also in touch with the Yemeni or the Iranian authorities regarding any de-escalation talks and all?
You had a question? Who had a question? Yeah, go ahead. I saw his hand first. I'll come to you.
So this is regarding Maldives not... sorry, Rishabh from Times Now. So this is regarding Maldives not signing hydrographic survey with India. Any comments on that?
And there was one more hand up there. Yeah. Shashank, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Shashank Matu with the Mint. So just on the Houthi attacks, has the Americans have put together a task force coalition?
This is the Red Sea.
Red Sea attacks, the Houthi attacks. The Americans have put together a coalition. Have they reached out to India to also play a role in restoring stability in that part of the world?
Okay, I see a few more hands, but maybe I'll take another round. We already have some questions. Siddhant, let me start with your query. We have seen, this was about the recent reports that we saw. Yes, we did see some reports on this in this regard about these meetings. Look, our concerns about Pakistan's support for terrorism, its support for cross-border attacks is well known. We would hope that other countries also take counter-terrorism seriously. Meghna, your query on ISRO, you would have seen, this is of course a great achievement by ISRO and our congratulations to them. You would have seen the tweet by External Affairs Minister. I think our mission promoted and External Affairs Minister also tweeted about it. I don't have much to add except to say this is quite a feat and our congratulations, of course. And they make the country proud for these kind of activities and achievements. Ayushi and as well as Shashank, your queries regarding the attacks in the Red Sea. Your specific query was on, I think, Ayushi, what is happening on the Red Sea or something, a trade. Look, India has always, of course, we have a vested interest and have been supportive of the free movement of commercial shipping. So that is something that we are interested in. We are, of course, monitoring the developments there. Insofar as I think there was, we've also, as you know, part of efforts globally to, or international efforts to ensure free shipping, whether it be piracy or otherwise, India has been involved in it. So we will continue to monitor that. I think there was some communication regarding this task force or the operation, but I would have to get back to you regarding any specific development on that issue, because I'm not aware of whether there has been any specific invitation or we have been asked to join or we have agreed to join. As I said, this is a new initiative and we'll have to get back to you as soon as I have something to convey on that. But let me emphasize that we have been part of efforts to ensure the safe transit of ships in the Arabian Sea, and we value the free movement of commercial shipping. I am not aware of any conversations with any specific country, certainly Iran or Yemen you mentioned. Rishabh, your query was on the statements by Maldives, you said. You mean the last conversation, or you had the specific statement by the announcement?
They haven't signed the hydrographic yet.
No, that's not correct. There is an agreement. They have agreed. What I understand is that you're talking about not to renew it in 2020. That's the one? Okay. Look, let me just say that India has a proven track record, a proven record in the field of hydrography. And we have also been cooperating with many countries in the Indian Ocean region on hydrography and various elements related to that. The benefits to partner countries are visible, and I would like to just leave it at that. Let me open up for the next set of questions. Yes, I'll come to you, sir.
This is Yeshi Seth from the New Indian Express. What is the latest update on the 8 naval veterans in Qatar?
Related question? Okay. Yes, I'll come back to you, sir.
So, Meghna Dev from DT News. Recently on 18 December, it was the National Day. Any pardon, if we know about, has been issued for our 8 naval officers who are in prison?
Okay.
So, Dhairya Maheshwari, Sputnik India. The EU announced 12th round of sanctions against Russia, which specifically targets the import of Russian diamonds as well as those processed in third countries. They're saying that they're in coordination with G7 will start implementing this ban from January. India's Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, the industry association, it has raised concerns over the timeline, and it has also said that we are making representation to the Indian government so that the Indian interests, they are not compromised. So my question is, if India is in talks with the EU, with the G7 countries on this. Thank you.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Hi sir, Abhishek Jha from CNN News 18 this side. On a recent interview, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said that he has sensed a tonal shift from India since US
Sorry, what shift?
Tonal shift.
Tonal shift, okay.
From India since US reported alleged killing plot, and if I may quote, he has also said that we don't want to be in a situation of having a fight with India. He'd also said that I think there is a beginning of an understanding that they cannot bluster their way through this, and there is an openness to collaborating in a way that perhaps they were less open before. How do you see this statement? Has there been any new initiative about the collaboration or the investigation, joint investigation that Canadian side wanted?
Okay. Yeah. Manush?
This is Manush from PT. Just a little clarification on the death drug convict Indians in Qatar.
Could you repeat? Clarification on?
Clarification on the Indians in Qatar.
Qatar, okay.
Yeah. Did we reach out to the Qatari authorities or Qatari government for a pardon by the Amir actually, in fact, because it was a national day. I mean, they had pardoned a number of prisoners. So did you reach out to them, or the families reach out to the authorities there?
Okay. I see more hands. Can I take another round, perhaps? Look, Dhairya, let me start with your query. This was on the Russian. Where is Dhairya gone? Sorry, apologies. This was regarding the last round of sanctions, 12th round of sanctions. I'm not sure the timeline, whether Jan or March, but I think we've responded to this earlier. We have concerns on this matter. This has been a subject of discussions with the EU and the G7. And as I said, this is something that's important, and we will keep you updated on how this conversation, or if there are any developments on this. But to emphasize that this is an issue of concern. I think I've said this before, or other people have said it earlier. Regarding the situation or the Indians in Qatar, I think Yashi, you had a query, Meghna, you also did, and I think Manush, you also different aspects of it. Look, I don't have much of an update in the sense we've been telling you about what has been happening. Just to let you, share with you where we are last. As you are aware, this case is now in the court of appeal, as it's called. And there have been 3 hearings in the Qatar Court of Appeal, on November 23rd, November 30th, and December 7th. Meanwhile, our ambassador in Doha got consular access, mentioned that last time we met, to meet all the 8 men on December 3rd. But beyond this, I don't have anything to share at this stage. I have no information, at least I have no indication of who were the people pardoned and how many Indians were there. We certainly have not received any indication that these 8 are involved in that. And as you know, any case, the case is going on. So I'd be a little surprised that they would, it'll happen while a case is going on. But I don't have information. In fact, we haven't, I think, been formally communicated about which is the pardon list and how many Indians are on that. I know there are some Indians on it, but once we have that. I don't want to get into conversations between, between 2 governments. We did mention last time we were talking about Prime Minister and the Emir of Qatar having a conversation. But let me not get into more details. But as we have said, this is an important issue that we are following, and that how we can get our people back to India soon, at the earliest. That is what is driving us. I think, Meghna, your query is also on that pardon-related issue. Abhishek, on your query, I'm not exactly sure how to answer it, in the sense this is a comment by the Prime Minister of Canada, and I wouldn't like to comment on that. But I think our position has been quite consistent, and whenever this has been raised, I think we have highlighted how we see the problem, and frankly, the core issue remains the space that is given to extremists and terrorists and anti-India elements in that country. I think you would have heard also from External Affairs Minister recently, as well as others, about the developments of that case, and the fact that if there's something that we look into it. But at the core of it, the problem remains this. So I wouldn't like to say whether they have noted a shift or not, because certainly our position has remained consistent, and we would hope that they would take action on such extremist elements that are misusing the freedom of speech and expression in their country. I saw a few hands. Pia?
Hi, Pia with the Print. Two questions, if you'll allow me. One is more of a clarification on whether Indian workers will be sent to Israel.
How is that a clarification, ma'am? Okay, anyway. Okay.
To meet the labor shortage there. So the clarification is needed because in a conversation between PM Modi and the Israel Prime Minister on Tuesday, the Israel readout said that the two leaders talked of expediting the arrival of Indian workers in Israel. But on 14 December, MOS V. Muralidharan responded to a parliament question where he said the government has not made any discussions with Israel regarding possible replacement, right? So clarification on that, please. Okay. Secondly, I wanted to inquire about the Indian national Nikhil Gupta, who's been cited in the US indictment regarding the Panu murder plot. He's currently in Prague and he's appealed to the Supreme Court to help him get a fair trial. Now the Czech authorities have said that Indian courts have no jurisdiction over this case. Any response to the Czech Foreign Ministry's remarks?
Okay. One second. We'll get a chance. Hold on. Why don't you go ahead? Yeah, I'll come to you, Ma.
Sir, there were reports that recently...
If you don't introduce...
Sridhar from the Asian Age. Sir, there were reports recently that a group of US congressmen, Indian Americans, they had been called the Samosa Caucus, had been given a classified briefing on the Panu case, and they all came out after that warning India that unless it took steps to address this issue, there could be serious damage to ties. So how are you looking at it? Because these are all friends of India, they are not adversaries. So how are you looking at that? And secondly, related to this, it's been about a month since the committee was constituted to examine this issue after the US raised its concerns. Any forward movement on that? When is the conclusion of the when are the findings expected? Thank you.
There was some hand here. So, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. No, behind you. I saw her hand first. I'll come to you. No, second round's a little later.
Irina Polina, TASS news agency. As far as we know, a meeting of Russian-Indian Intergovernmental Commission is planned in the nearest future. Could you please confirm that? And is it true that Minister Jaishankar...
Sorry, I didn't get your question. This was the IRIGC tech, or which
Russian-Indian...
Which level is this? This is the ministerial level?
Yes, that Minister Jaishankar plans to visit Moscow.
This is in Moscow. That's a much easier question. Okay, fair enough.
And if it is true, could you share with
I will come back to you.
Issues?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Huma?
Sir, I'm Huma Siddiqui, Financial Express. There news that the US is easing sanctions from Venezuela. Does it mean that India can start full trade talks with...
Trade talks?
Resume business with Venezuela once the sanctions are over?
Too broad. What do you have in mind?
I mean, oil we have already started, but there were talks about pharmaceuticals and other essential items.
Kadambini?
कादम्बिनी शर्मा फ्रॉम एनडीटीवी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जो निखिल गुप्ता के परिवार की तरफ से पिटिशन फाइल हुई है उसमें कहा गया है कि गिरफ्तारी के करीब 20 दिन बाद वहां पर एम्बेसी से अधिकारी मिलने गए और कमेटी भी जो कंस्टिट्यूट हुई है तो इस पे कोई इंफॉर्मेशन है जो
अच्छा वो कमेटी
हाँ सरकार ने जो की है तो और कोई उसके आगे कोई कांटेक्ट हुआ है या एक्स्ट्रेडिशन की कोई बात हो रही है
इसके कहाँ पे एक्सट्रेडिशन किसकी निखिल गुप्ता जी कहाँ
चेक रिपब्लिक
आपका क्वेश्चन क्लियर नहीं बट एनीवे जो मैं कह सकता हूँ मैं आपको बताऊँ Pia, let me take it. I know there are a couple of more hands, but let me just finish with this round. Pia, your query on the Indian workers vis-a-vis Israel. Look, on that issue, I think you mentioned to it, but let me clarify what we said in Parliament. And what we said in Parliament stands. Okay, let me just pull out what we had. I think we had a very clear statement on that. Yes, let me refer you to the response given to the Rajya Sabha parliamentary question on December 14th, that there have been no discussions with Israel regarding possible replacement of Palestinian laborers with Indian workers. I think that statement stands, and I have nothing to clarify on that. Of course, on a larger perspective, India has been looking at labor mobility agreements around the world so that our citizens get access to the global workplace, they are treated fairly, their rights are protected. If you're looking at any specific job opportunities, Indian citizens are free to go abroad and take job opportunities. So I'm not going to comment on what the Israeli readout about the conversation is. Prime Minister's office has already issued something on the statement. But this is what we said in Parliament, and I think... No, not at all. You are assuming that it's through the government if somebody is going there on their own. On the government position, we have said what is there, and that's actually what we have said in Parliament. But if somebody is taking a job on their own or somebody is advertising, Indian citizens do go abroad on their own. It doesn't have to be through any G2G mechanisms. Opportunities for jobs abroad are circulated by various bodies without any specific G2G mechanism. And as you know, there are a large number of Indians who are working in Israel in some sectors, particularly healthcare and caregiver sectors, and some in construction also. I'll come to the other part of it. A couple of other questions were there. On the issue of, Irina, your query regarding the meeting of the IRIGC or the Intergovernmental Commission, look, discussions are underway on a possible visit by External Affairs Minister to Moscow for this, but I don't have a confirmation or anything to announce yet. As soon as we do, we would of course share with you. But at this moment, as I said, we have regular, bilateral engagements, including this one. But we will announce such engagements at the appropriate time, and whether External Affairs Minister himself would go or what we do. Huma, on Venezuela. As I said, I'm not exactly sure where your query was. We have been engaging with them. There are a number of activities that are undertaken in the business sector. You mentioned the U.S. sanctions. That I'm not sure even pharma was covered in that or not. But if we have any new initiatives, we'll let you know. But otherwise, there is usually ongoing cooperation. If you want any particular details, we'll have to seek it from our embassy there. But for the moment, I don't have any specific update on that. Sridhar, your query was regarding a committee that is... In fact, I've had a couple of other questions, but the two are not related, so I wanted to clarify the issue. Yes, of course, we have seen the statement by some members of the U.S. Congress. In fact, I think I have it here. As I said, you mentioned that you referred to the last part of it, whether they have, they said this would impact ties. As we have shared earlier, we take it seriously, the inputs that have been provided by the US side, and a high-level inquiry committee has been constituted to look into all relevant aspects of the matter. This fact has also been noted by these members of Congress, and I don't have any further update to it. I certainly don't have any update on the committee or its timeline or its findings as of right now. You referred to Nikhil Gupta's issue and whether Czech authorities, I'm not sure what you exactly had in mind, but Kadambani का प्रश्न more detailed था. देखिए इसमें निखिल गुप्ता वाला केस थोड़ा लीगल इशू है, तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि एक इंडियन नेशनल चेक अथॉरिटीज़ की हिरासत में है और उसको अमेरिका के एक्सट्रेडिशन का अनुरोध जो है वो पेंडिंग है उनके सिस्टम में. हमें कॉन्सुलर एक्सेस मिला है, 3 बार उनसे एटलीस्ट 3 बार कॉन्सुलर एक्सेस हमें मिला है, और हम जिस तरह जो भी आवश्यक कॉन्सुलर सहायता प्रदान कर सकते हैं हम कर रहे हैं जो वो मांग रहे हैं. और इस व्यक्ति के एक परिवार के सदस्य ने मामले को ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट में के पास कोई याचिका दी थी और अभी मामला सब जुडिस है, इसीलिए इस संबंध में अधिक टिप्पणी करना उचित नहीं होगा. इसीलिए आपने जो पूछा एक्सट्रेडिशन या सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जो हो रहा है. Pia, your query was more on the element. As I said, this is a family member of this person, of this individual, has gone to our Supreme Court And this is a process going on Supreme Court. So I don't think it will be appropriate for us to comment on jurisdictions and issues. I think we'll wait for what the Honorable Supreme Court has to say. I think in preliminary comment that we read, it said that it is, they should approach the appropriate court. But again, till we see something, I don't want to comment on this aspect. As I just mentioned to Kadamban in Hindi, an Indian national is currently in the custody of Czech authorities pending a request for extradition to the US. We have received consular access, at least I'm aware of at least 3 occasions. We are extending necessary consular assistance to the individual as per requirement. And one family member, as I mentioned, has approached the Honorable Supreme Court, which is a separate issue. So I think that addresses the queries that I received. There were a couple of more hands. We'll close with that. Yes, please. Srinjoy.
Sir, Srinjoy Times now. So as far as Indians in Gaza were concerned, are there any left there? If they have all been taken out, can you give us some details about it?
Okay. Kalur?
Kalur from The Hindu. I actually seeking a clarification to your answer to Priya's question.
Which one?
The Israel-related answer. Okay. I mean, just 1.5 months ago, we had the Operation Ajay, airlifting Indian citizens out of Israel. The ambassador of India was asking Indian citizens to be careful and remain safe at home and etc. And the Indians were seeking help on social media. And here you are saying that Indians do go abroad and work. I mean, I'm finding a lot of contradiction in your answer because I think when we had conflicts break out in Libya and Iraq and elsewhere, you asked Indians not to travel to those countries. So are you suggesting that Israel is just another country despite this conflict going on in Israel? And how can Indians be there and how can you actually ensure safety for them if they are there?
Okay, I'll come to the little more detailed answer to you. Shashank, did you answer something? Anyway, something. Okay, go ahead. Let me just close up with this.
Shashank Matu with the Mint, sir. So just a clarification on the question about the American-led task force. You had mentioned that there had been some communication. Has it been that there has been some discussion about it and not, let's say, a formal invitation? Just a little clarification on what that communication has been.
Yeah, you had a query? Sorry, Madhu. No, before that. You had raised your hand. You put it down later on. I didn't see you. Bataiye.
सर मधुरन न्यूज़ नेशन से मेरे भी 2 सवाल हैं। सर पहला सवाल यह है कि जो LAC का एरिया है वहाँ पर लगातार डेवलपमेंट्स देखा जा रहा है। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट जो है वो चाइना की तरफ से किए जा रहे हैं। लेटेस्ट जो सैटेलाइट पिक्चर्स हैं वो भी उसकी तस्दीक कर रहे हैं। जबकि हम ये देख रहे हैं कि लगभग 20 राउंड के कॉप्स कमांडर टॉक हो चुके हैं, लगभग 14-15 राउंड का WMCC टॉक हो चुका है, लेकिन डिसएंगेजमेंट के प्रोसेस में किसी भी तरह का इम्प्रूवमेंट हमें नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है। तो क्या
ये आपका असेसमेंट है ना?
जी, क्योंकि ऑन ग्राउंड नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है। इस बारे में कोई रिलीज आपकी तरफ से भी जारी नहीं किया गया है। तो क्या ये माना जाए कि अब टॉक्स फेल होने लगे हैं और आगे कोई रोड मैप दिखाई नहीं दे रहा? दूसरा सवाल इजराइल से जुड़ा हुआ है कि ऑपरेशन अजय के तहत जो स्टूडेंट्स लाए गए थे उसमें से ऑलमोस्ट जो डाटा है वो बतला रहे हैं कि 90% स्टूडेंट्स वापस जा चुके हैं फिर से इजराइल स्टडी करने के लिए, क्योंकि उनको यूनिवर्सिटीज़ बंद नहीं है और उनको लीव नहीं मिल रहा है। तो इस बारे में भी कुछ ऐड ऑन कर सकते हैं। कलोल क्वेश्चन नहीं, पर मैं क्योंकि हम लाए थे और फिर वापस
कलोल क्वेश्चन आंसर करूंगा। आप क्या जानना चाहते हैं?
मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि क्या उनको फिर
क्या रोके नहीं जाने दें?
क्या एडवाइजरी कुछ और जारी की गई है या विद द सेम एडवाइजरी दे आर गोइंग बैक एंड
fair enough question. ठीक है। Yes, Rishabh, I really need to close on this. Yeah.
So, Rishabh from Times Now. So, USCIRF is a body Commission for International Religious Freedom. They have written to Biden administration last week saying that given the transnational killing of Niger in Canada and a plot to kill Gurpant Singh Pannu in US, India should be placed under country with the exact word. Particular concern. So, any statement from
you can ask a friend, phone a friend. There is always somebody here to help. Anyway, audience. The other one is audience. No, audience phone. Okay, thank you. Let me finish with that. Srinjoy, as we mentioned, our earlier assessment was there was about 4 Indian nationals in Gaza and their families, and there were about a dozen or total with the West Bank included. One of them certainly came out and was in Egypt, as you saw our embassy tweet about it. I don't have an update. The other 3 have come out. Our understanding is that they are probably still in Gaza. We haven't received anything particular about them. We hope that they are safe. But since you raised, we'll also recheck. But as of now, we haven't received any information that they have left. Kalal, I'll come to your question for a second. Shashank, just to clarify, let me clarify what I'm saying. I'm saying this is a new initiative, so I'll have to get back to you as soon as I have something to convey. I don't have a clarity. That's why I don't have a clarity whether there is exactly the question that you're answering. We'll get back if there is an update on this issue. But certainly as you said, we value the free movement of commercial shipping, and we have been part of efforts to ensure free passage or transit of ships in the Arabian Sea. मधुरेंद्र जी, आपका पहला प्रश्न मुझे पता नहीं किस तरह से जवाब देना चाहिए. मैं आपसे सहमत नहीं हूं कि टॉक्स का कोई पूरा फेल हुआ है या हमारे टॉक्स जारी है. आप जैसे आपने ठीक WMCC में भी और हमारे कोर कमांडर लेवल पे भी जारी है. और जब तक हम जो चाहते वो नहीं हो पाता है तब तक टॉक्स चलेंगी हमें. तो इसमें मैं अभी कोई डिसीजन नहीं लेना चाहूँगा कि मैप में ये दिखाया गया. मैंने देखा नहीं ऐसा कोई मैप जिसमें दिखाया गया कोई बहुत फ़र्क पड़ा है. हमारी जो पोजीशन है वो रही है और इसी बात पे हम बात कर रहे हैं उनसे, ताकि जो हमारी डिमांड्स हैं या हमारे पर्सपेक्टिव है उसमें पूरी तरह हम सफल हो पाएँ. Israel, let me answer Kallol first and Madhurendraji ji आपको बताता हूँ. I didn't get your why you. First of all, let me explain. We have issued advisory. That advisory stands. But as you know, that of the about 18,000 or so that Indians that we estimated, we only got about 1,300 or so came back. So others did not. And this was not an advice that everybody has to leave. Those who wanted to leave, we assisted them to come out. I don't know. अवधरेंद्र जी आप पूछ रहे थे कि कुछ लोग वापस चले गए हैं स्टूडेंट्स, उनसे बात करनी पड़ेगी. बट हमारी एडवाइजरी जारी है. पर अगर कोई जाना चाहता है वहाँ है तो हम उनको ज़बरदस्ती तो नहीं ला रहे हैं अभी. और as regards Kallol, your query or your comment that this is related to the jobs issue, as I said, let me go back to what we said in Parliament, which is that we've had no such discussions on replacing Palestinian labours with Indian workers. But again, if Indian workers do go, short of issuing, we haven't issued advisory saying you cannot go there. This is not, some countries have issued such advisory. Advisories are issued based on the threat assessment and they're graded. There's not a common one. And we haven't said that you cannot go, and there are enough Indians already there. So for us to say, well, they're there and we issued advisory, I would not like to go beyond that. Safe, not safe, somebody gets injured if he's still there, you will hold me responsible is not a good line to go. So we issued advisory. I would urge everyone to follow that. And also mention that there are Indian citizens currently in Israel. आपका प्रश्न भी इसी तरह मैंने जैसे कहा कि हमारी एडवाइजरी लागू है जो हमने इशू किया था उस समय जारी किए थे. Okay, I think we'll stop with that. Thank you all. Sorry. Yes, CRS. Sorry. As I said, I thought phone a friend anyway. Look, I mentioned to you about the inquiry committee and the comments on that issue, on the specific issue, and that once a committee is there, we will look into what it says. But meanwhile, as regards USCIRF, look, you are all aware of their motivated and biased approach towards India. You've seen it a number of times in the past. I would therefore not like to, give their comments any particular weight or consideration. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.